Welcome back, and I want to thank you very much for your patience in getting through this first series of 6 introductory videos for the first day of Classics 391. I know that it wasn't particularly comic to have to go through all this administrative stuff, but I really appreciate that you made it through, and I do look forward in the next session to finally getting to videos that have to do with actual Greek and Roman comedy to make things fun in this course the way it's supposed to be. What you were looking forward to when you actually took this course. So, okay, we got one more video that we do need to get through in order to make sure that you're in good shape from the first day of the class, and that has to do with the 2 exams, the midterm and the final exam. And I have alluded to both of these in the previous video, so you already have some information about them, but now I'm going to go through the specific requirements for both of them so that you're clear on them and we'll know what to do when those come up in the course. So first of all, though, we have one matter that needs to be covered. So here's our good friendly fellow. You notice that even during exam time, nothing bothers him. He stays cheerful all the time, just like you'll be able to do also when you're taking this course. These exams won't bother you. You'll be able to stay cheerful and in a humorous state all the way through this course. All right, but there is one technical matter we do need to take care of, even regardless of his cheerfulness, and that's this, the Oath of Academic Honesty. What I would like you to do is to please pause your video and go to the forum on the Sakai that's labeled Oath of Academic Honesty. You will find there a document, which is the actual oath. What I would like you to do is read it through carefully, and then please put your signature at the bottom of it, and then reload it back into the forum in order for me to know that you agree to the principles set out in that oath, which are consistent with the academic standards set by University of Rhode Island for how to take this class. So please pause your video, find the oath document, initial it after you've read it through, and then post it back in the forum. Please pause your video and take care of this very important bit of business. Okay, is your oath all set? Awesome. Okay, so let me now discuss in some detail the midterm and the final exams. I'll also point out that there will be separate videos on the midterm and the final coming up later, so therefore you'll have plenty of time to review for them before you actually arrive to them, but make sure that you are familiar with them as early as possible so that you know what to expect as you go through the course. Okay, now both exams involve a closed book part and an open book part, and I will discuss what those involve now in some detail. The midterm exam will be due approximately halfway or maybe just slightly past halfway through the course, and the final exam, of course, will be due on the last session that the course meets. Both of these need to be passed into your drop boxes, and please know that it is the drop boxes and not the forums. The drop boxes by the due date specified on your syllabus, calendar, and forum. Please take note again that they do need to be in your drop boxes, and they should be submitted preferably in either Word form, which is what I would like, or PDF if you don't have Microsoft Word. You please use one of those two, because those are the 2 formats that I'll be able to open so that we don't get into complications with some other odd format that I'm not able to open. Okay, so either use Microsoft Word as part of Microsoft Office, that's what I really would like, or else if you do not have that or can't use that, then you can use PDF. That is also perfectly fine. Okay, so submit those in, and both exams typically for the essays have usually about 5 to 6 pages on average. You can use a 12-point font or a 14-point font, and you should use 1.5 space or double space for the spacing. Please do not use single space because it's difficult to read, and also I can't make comments very easily. So use 1.5 space or double space for the 2 essays. Also be aware, and you'll see this on the oath, that you're responsible for citing any outside material that you bring in order to write your essays. You are not actually responsible for having to do that for the texts that are in the course. Those you can just simply cite within the essay itself, and that's perfectly fine, and I'll just simply accept that the way it is. But if you use any outside books or magazines or information from the internet, then you do need to provide a proper citation, which means that you provide a footnote or an endnote, and then use works cited or bibliography at the end to provide the particular thing that you cited. Any format such as manual of style is perfectly okay for the setup of the essay along these grounds, but you do indeed need to cite anything that you do use. Failure to do so, of course, constitutes plagiarism, and we obviously don't want that. This guy will not be happy anymore if plagiarism occurs. So please obviously do not do that. Okay, so now let's get to the midterm itself. First of all, the midterm, as we said, has a closed book part and an open book part. Now, the closed book part has 10 IDs, and then it also has the description of the open book essay, plus it also has the questions that pertain to the 3 passages. Now, the midterm itself, which remember will be provided on resources, but only for a specified number of days up to the due date before it disappears, so make sure that you get it before it disappears. The midterm will have written on it the IDs and the question for the open book essay. And there are in fact 2 questions that are available, both of which I will describe in just a moment. The passages themselves will have the questions on the midterm, but those 3 passages will be emailed to you. And those emailed passages will come to you days before the midterm itself will be due in. So you'll need to watch your email, and there will be an advance email to warn you. Watch your email from me with your 3 passages. Okay, and then those 3 passages will be taken, 1 from Aristophanes, clouds, 1 from wasps, 1 from birds. So that's going to make them relatively easy to identify. Okay, because those are the only 3 plays that you'll have read up to that point. Okay, so the IDs are 10 mostly names of characters in the plays that you'll have read. And again, there'll only be 3 plays to worry about: clouds, wasps, and birds. So that should make it pretty easy. So you can identify any 10 of the names out of the long list of names that are provided, about 24 of them or so. And there's names of characters, and there's other concepts that pertain to the particular plays that you've read, like say Sophists, for instance, which is going to be something of importance for Aristophanes' Clouds. We'll talk about that when we get to that play. So choose 10 of those and identify them, providing as much new information as you can within 3 or 4 sentences or bullet points. Try to find at least 3 different things to say. So don't, if say one of the choices was Zeus, don't say that he is brother of Hera and husband of Hera, because those really end up being almost the same thing. You could say he's king of gods, and he's not worshipped properly in clouds, and his attribute is the lightning, and that type of thing. That would be acceptable, but you have to provide at least 3 different things in principle for the IDs. So, and be as specific as possible with your IDs, and especially if you can name the play in which they appear, that's particularly helpful, so that I'll know that you've read the play and that you understand which play the particular character or concept is associated with. Okay, so those are your 10 IDs. Then, after you receive in the mail your 3 passages, you have 4 questions to answer about each of your 3 passages. The author, well, that's Aristophanes, so that's easy. The play is going to be clouds, wasps, birds, 1 of each. And then there's going to be the background of the play, that is the plot of the entire play, and then done briefly, no long thing necessary. And then finally, the context of the passage where it appears in the play. And that's separate from the plot as a whole. So be careful to do both C and D. I've had students mistakenly leave one or the other out, and then they lose points. You have to do both the plot and the context of the passage within that plot or within the play as a whole, and especially if there's anything distinctive about that passage that the author is trying to highlight for the audience in some particular respect, which is especially likely with Aristophanes, since he's usually communicating some message directly to his audience. Okay, so that's what the passages are about, and the IDs again, will be listed on the exam itself. So everything is on the exam document itself, except for the 3 passages, which will be emailed to you separately. There will also be a review sheet that will come out also in resources later, prior to the arrival of the exam, to give you some advanced review as to what's on the midterm. The open book essay, you have 2 choices. You're welcome to use whatever sources you want to, as long as you provide proper credit. So any open information is good. Notice that the closed book part, you're not allowed to use anything else except for computer and memory, the noggin up here. Okay. Otherwise, nothing else. That's what the oath tells us. Okay. You have to do it all entirely from memory on the closed book part, both the passages and the IDs. All right. But now the open book essay. The open book essay, you can use whatever you'd like, and you will have some time to prepare the essay before it's actually due. You have 2 choices of subject. One is, what do you think Aristophanes was trying to say to his audience in writing the play? And again, clouds, wasps, or birds. That is one choice. And the other choice is, what about the play makes it distinctively Athenian as opposed to a general Greek play? Like what about it is specifically focused on the polis of Athens as opposed to general Greek culture, so that it really does belong in an Athenian theater produced for and to an Athenian audience. Okay, so a lot of that is going to come up obviously in the course, and we'll give you some information, especially from World of Athens, as to what to do about that. Now, for the exam, the essay. The essay needs to be, first of all, really, really good about grammar, punctuation, spelling, editing, proofreading, sentence structure, correct use of homonyms like there versus there, T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E versus T-H-E-R-E versus T-H-E-I-R. Those types of things need to be accurate on the essay. So your grammar has to be really in good shape. If you have lots of grammar mistakes, like incorrectly putting a comma instead of a semicolon in front of however, as an example, you're going to lose points. Okay, so be sure that you edit your grammar really carefully. And then after I get done with nitpicking about presentation points like that, editing and proofreading, then for the content, you're going to present an argument. You're going to provide proof of your argument in the body of your essay, the body paragraphs, and then come up with a conclusion. In your central paragraphs, you should be providing passages from your chosen play directly out of the text, cited in the text of your own essay, so that those passages are used to help prove your argument or prove specific claims along the way. This is very important. The specific citations of passages are really necessary for you to demonstrate to me that you read the works and know how to analyze the works critically and be able to come up with an argument related to them. And I need to see not only that you've read the works and understand the works, but that you're also capable of advancing an argument. So if you give me an argument that's really good, but it doesn't have proof from the play, you're going to lose points. I'm going to tell you, nope, you didn't cite passages from the play, your grade goes down, even if your argument was a good one. Of course, if it's an argument's a bad one, then that's going to cost you even more points. But even a good argument that's not proven properly will not score well on the essay. On the other hand, a not great argument that you try really hard to prove might still do very well. I might have to mention to you, by the way, I'm sorry, but you actually had something incorrect here. But if you write a really capable essay, you'll still get a very high grade for it, even if you happen to have an argument that I'm aware doesn't actually work well. I'll mention that to you. But if it's something that I don't think you necessarily could have known, then I certainly won't penalize you very severely for that. Okay, so those are the principles of writing a good essay. Okay, and again, no plagiarism. Make sure that you cite any works that you use properly. Okay, again, 5-6 pages and 12-14-point font and single, not single, 1.5 space or 2 double space is fine for the format. Okay, final exam. Now that we've covered the midterm, the final exam is pretty much a duplicate of the same thing. The closed book part is there are no more IDs. It's only going to be 4 passages, and again, I will email the 4 passages to you in advance. The same questions. Author. Now, of course, you've got 4 authors to work with, so that's more. Author, title of the work, background plot of the work, and the context of that particular passage that you received. So at that point, you'll have to know all 4 authors' works. And then the open book essay, again, is going to be, in this case, how serious is Greek and Roman comedy? How serious is Greek and Roman comedy? That's your question. And once again, you're going to provide proof from whatever sources you want to use, and especially citations from the ancient works, the 4 playwrights' plays. Okay? When you get finished with your exam, in either case, you need to put it as a single document, either Word or PDF, single document, and submit it into your Dropbox. Also, since it is really an exam, I do ask you please, again, using the oath of honor here, to complete the exam as much as possible in a single sitting, as if you were taking the exam in a classroom. Now, I understand, obviously, with work schedules and such, it may not be possible to do that. So if you're not able to, it's okay. I will not hold it against you. But the intent of the exam is for it to be completed in a single sitting. So gather everything all together and take the exam and submit it to me by the due date, and then you will be all set. Obviously, if there are any difficulties with either exam, contact me in advance, let me know, and I will, again, try my best to accommodate as much as possible. Again, for grading purposes, each closed book part is 40 points with a division here. It's 28 points and 12 points here. This is a full 40 points, so it's 10 points per passage. And then the open book essay is 60 points, and it's graded subjectively based on the content, how well you advanced your argument, how well you composed the work. Did you do a good job with editing and proofreading? Those things will affect it, obviously. Okay, so complete each exam as much as possible in a single sitting, and then submit the entire essay all together after you're done with your passages. Submit everything all together as a single document into your Dropbox. Should there be any issues with the Dropbox, then contact me, and then you can submit it on the forums, or maybe even email me to me if you really need that. But otherwise, it should, if possible, go into the Dropbox. And please, again, get that oath, if you didn't already, into the oath of academic honesty. I do need that in order for you to be able to complete the course requirements properly. Okay, so that should get you in good shape for the midterm and the final exams. And I'm happy to report at long last you have completed the videos, these administrative ones for the first session of the course. And we'll be able to move to the second session. There's a couple more administrative things we still have to get through, but we will be very soon getting finally to some really good fun stuff on ancient Greek and Roman comedy. Aristophanes' Clouds is coming up next. Okay, we will see you in the next session in the next video.